Hey, hello there, and welcome to episode 18, where we cross into Zambia on the new Kazungula Bridge, visit the impressive Victoria Falls, and get to know a little bit more of Zambia's natural beauty and interesting roads. On the 1st of October, we picked up our COVID PCR tests in Kasane and then rode the short stretch to the Kazungula border. This used to be a slightly chaotic crossing that involved a ferry ride across the river and going from hut to hut, trying to work out where everything was. Since the 10th of May 2021, though, travellers can enjoy the luxury of a completely new bridge across the river and a one-stop shop border post, as this super friendly guide explained to us.
No, you're going to stamp in Zambia.
Okay.
So this is the new bridge, new system. Over the bridge there's Botswana immigration, Zambia immigration. That's why they call it one-stop border post. So you stop only once.
The first stop was the gate, where we showed our COVID tests and passports, and we got sprayed with some sort of disinfectant. From there, we headed over to the actual border post. In this building, desks 1 to 12 belong to Botswana, and desks 13 to 24 to Zambia. First, we headed over to the immigration desk on the Botswanan side to get an exit stamp in our passports, and then to the customs desk to have our carnet de passage stamped. Since South Africa, Namibia and Botswana are in a customs union, this is actually the first time that we're using the carnet de passage in order to export the vehicles out of a country and import it into a new country. After that, we headed to the immigration desk on the Zambian side to buy our visas and get stamps on our passports. At the Zambian customs desk, we filled in some forms for the motorcycles and handed over our carnet de passage and passports to the customs official. And then the motorcycles needed to be checked by the police. In order to do that, we had to ride them over to this inspection area where somebody took a look at the VIN number and generally had a look around the bike, and then we filled in a logbook. You definitely just have to be patient and take your time with all this paperwork. I don't know how many times we filled in exactly the same information in a logbook here or a form there, and then it all got tapped into a computer system anyway, but it is what it is. After the inspection, we paid for the Kazungula Bridge toll at the cashier's desk, went back to the customs officer to get a number so that we went back to the cashier to pay our carbon tax, and then we got our carnets stamped. Next, we went to pay toll for the roads, and yes, there is a lot of queuing and waiting around and filling in of forms. But all the process is more or less straightforward and very friendly. Throughout all of that process, these gentlemen here were sort of hanging around. We were a little bit worried because we had heard that at the Zambian border, the helpers or fixers are quite aggressive, and that if you're not careful, you end up with some fee that you have to pay them at the end. When we were there, the guys that we met were very friendly though, and explained that they were just insurance brokers and that all of the help was for free. I have no idea whether we paid the right amount for insurance, but there are not very many options. You need third-party insurance, and we didn't want to risk riding through the border gate without it. Oh, and by the way, on the day we were here, the ATM actually worked, so we were able to get Zambian kwacha as well. Well then, at the exit gate, there was one last charge to pay, I think a community levy, and our paperwork was checked, and then we were free to ride through. So after a process of about 2 hours or so, welcome to Zambia.
We are in Zambia. Welcome to Zambia.
Our first stop in Zambia was Livingstone, from where we visited Victoria Falls. There are several things that we noticed straight away when we came into Zambia. There's a lot less livestock roaming around. Bicycles are an essential mode of transport, both for people and for goods. There are a lot more motorcycles too. And there are just many, many more people about. Zambia is much more densely populated than Botswana or Namibia. In August 2021, Zambia got a new president, Hakainde Hichilema, and this had a direct impact on our trip. There are a lot of checkpoints on the roads in Zambia, and I think you used to have to pay a fee or a toll pretty much at each of one of those. But now the police just waved us through or stopped us for a friendly chat.
Let me see if it is with power. If it can beat that BMW 1500cc. Just see. By the time you reach there, then you go back to your normal speed.
Have a good day, everybody.
Busy roads full of traffic and the hustle and bustle of a busy town is just not something that we've been confronted with much in the last 2 months. But in my experience, Zambian drivers are actually very considerate. I definitely felt comfortable riding around here, even in the capital Lusaka. That doesn't mean that it's super safe for everyone on the roads. On our way from Lusaka to Serenje, we saw at least 10 of these lorries that were in the ditch by the side of the road. To be honest, looking at the state of some of the roads and the state of some of the vehicles on the roads, it shouldn't really have been much of a surprise. Traffic and road conditions eased off quite a lot in the northeast of the country. Well, maybe not everywhere. As we crossed the Kasanka National Park and the Luapula swamps, Colin stopped to have a look at the tire. He'd already felt that there was something definitely not right with it. And yeah, he found that there was no air at all in the tube. We tried to pump it up, but it didn't work. The sidewalls of the tire were so firm that it stayed put. And Colin decided to just ride on rather than take it off in the middle of nowhere. We went slowly and stopped a couple of times to just check everything was more or less okay. So that is how we got to Lake Bangweulu. And at the Samfya waterfront hotel, in the comfort of the beautiful surroundings of the lake, we took Colin's front tire off and found a pretty shredded tube underneath. I want to give a special mention to the Zambians, who are super friendly, helpful, honest people. We've met a lot of really nice people on our trip, but Zambians were especially welcoming to us. And of course, I want to give an extra big shout out to our friend Harrison. Harrison took time out of a day that was supposed to be a day at the beach with his friends in order to take Colin to Samfya, find a mechanic and a tube and some beers for the wait, and waited with us until everything was sorted. And on top of all of that, we had a fabulous day out at the beach with him and his friend Chris. So Harrison and Chris, thank you so much for your company and for your warm welcome to Zambia. So this is where I will leave you this time, on the shores of Lake Bangweulu. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.